Forget going from site to site to get all of your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like the Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and egg accessories for the big green egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred's also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber, as well as a full line of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. And you can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichlin of Barbecue U fame. Check out Fred on the web at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Introducing Cosmos Q. Cosmos Q injections and marinades use only the finest ingredients, and they mix easily, never clotting or caking. From our beef injection to our pork injection, you're guaranteed to wow your friends, family, and judges. And don't forget to check out our Cosmos Chicken Soak for that moist and tender chicken you're gonna love.
And don't forget about Cosmo's new pork soak and rubs.
You can find us at cosmosfood.com and select retailers across the
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. 14 past the hour, right on the dot, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. This portion brought to you by the good folks over at the Barbecue Guru, makers of automatic temperature control devices, not to mention a host of other products that make your barbecue and grilling life easier, like the Onyx Oven, the Holy Smokes meat mats, all that good stuff. You can find them online, thebbqguru.com. You can also call them toll-free from wherever you are, 800-288-GURU, 800-288-GURU. It's the great folks and longtime sponsors of the show, the Barbecue Guru. Patronize the sponsors if you want to do something good for the show, for crying out loud. People always ask me, visit the sponsors, buy stuff from them. They love it. Right. Get my stuff ready here. Don't forget, coming up here next segment, we're going to be joined by Robyn Lindars, the Grill Girl, and then coming up after dark, Scott Nelson from Swine Assassins barbecue team, currently sitting in second place for the KCBS. But now joining me, talk a little Best in Smoke barbecue TV show, is the pitmaster of IQ competition team. And of course, I mentioned in the open, happened to be the winner of the 2009 Jack Daniels World Championship barbecue competition. It's a friend of the show, and he's joining me right now. It's Chris Hart from IQ. Chris, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Greg, how's it going?
I'm doing absolutely well, and I appreciate you taking time out for the show tonight, Chris. Before we get into the show, how about a little status update on Team IQ? What have you done so far in 2011, and what kind of events do you have planned for this year? All the good stuff.
We haven't done much of anything yet. I'm getting a little bit of feedback on the call here.
Let me dump you, and I'll try and call you right back.
Thanks.
All right. Wow, look at that. Uh-oh. Little feedback. Got to muscle through that, Chris. Got to muscle through. Fingers crossed.
Second try.
How about that? Is that any better?
Sounds good.
All right, let's go at it.
We haven't done much of anything yet. We've done a few contests. We cooked this really nice contest in Lexington, Mass. A couple weeks ago, Patriots Day weekend. We did pretty well in 3 of the 4 categories. The 4th category was pork, and we decided to send it in without any garnish because we thought it looked nice, and the judges didn't agree and kind of ended our day.
Is that a KCBS event?
It was a KCBS event, yeah. And we were just kind of, trying a few new things, and we put the pork box together without any garnish, and my whole team was, doing cartwheels, and the judges didn't agree.
Now, I have to ask you, and we could probably spend the rest of the segment talking about this. I have been a long proponent of the fact that in some form or fashion, KCBS needs to either make garnish mandatory or take it out altogether and not leave it as optional, because, as you well know, you've been doing this for a number of years now, Chris, that 99.999% of boxes are garnished, and those that choose to not garnish typically are going to get biased by the judges because that's what the judges, let me rephrase it. Typically, judges are looking for that portion of the presentation as garnish in the box. So handing it in, did you think that it was also kind of a grenade of sorts?
We thought there was some risk, but we did a pretty unique presentation. There was like a lot of meat in it, a lot of slices. I thought it looked really good. And I don't know, maybe I had a couple too many Bloody Marys that morning or something, but my judgment was impaired. But we went for it, and it didn't work out.
All right, well, it happens, Chris. And believe me, much respect on my end for you guys actually turning that into the KCBS event. I'm sorry it didn't turn out the way you wanted to. Chris Hart,
we should have known better.
Pitmaster of IQ nonetheless. IQBarbecue.com is their website in case you want to check them out. Look, Chris, barbecue has become more and more popular every year, especially probably over the last few years, it seems. Barbecue shows making it on the television, getting into major cable and now broadcast channels. Do you think we're seeing the peak of barbecue right now, or is this still in the infantile stage in your estimation?
I don't know if we're definitely getting to the peak. I don't think we've quite reached it yet. I think we're going to continue to see big money events. The TV show thing, I think, the jury's maybe a little bit out on that. There's been a bunch of them, and this new one coming out on Food Network we'll see what the public thinks, but I don't think we've reached the peak by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly on the big dollar contests, I think we're going to continue to see a lot of those.
So you were picked to be part of this show, Best in Smoke, that will be airing on this Sunday, I believe, Food Network, as you just said. And tell us about the concept of the show and how it might unfold over the next few weeks.
Yeah, so we got invited to go cook the show. It's basically 6 pit masters that got selected, and you get to bring along one assistant. We filmed it back in August, so it's been a long run of kind of keeping this under our on the hush-hush. But we filmed it in August in Liberty State Park, right over on the Jersey border. With the backdrop behind us was the Statue of Liberty and the Manhattan skyline, and the whole thing was filmed there over about a week period, and the show is 4 hour-long episodes that start. The premieres this Sunday.
So is it like an event challenge type thing with teams getting eliminated, or is it more of a follow as you go like Barbecue Pitmasters Season 1? What kind of a format is it going to be?
It's fairly similar. It's kind of like Top Chef meets barbecue. So there is somebody eliminated each week. There is challenges. There is the quote-unquote professional judge. And then there is various elements that introduce kind of a group of like a People's Choice kind of scenario as well.
Who created the show? Who's the brains behind this deal?
High Noon Productions, who does a lot of the productions of various shows on the Food Network, did all the production of the show.
And who are some of the other teams or some of the other people that might be on barbecue teams that we would know taking part in this whole deal? And did anybody that you saw once you were all gathered around to start this whole deal, anybody intimidate you, or were you pretty much ready to rock against anybody?
I kind of went out there thinking that I was ready to see some KCBS teams. I was ready to, going to the set, showing up on the set. That was what I was really interested in, is who else did they pick for this thing? Because I had no idea. I was completely in the dark, and I was expecting to see some big KCBS teams. I don't know, like Pellet Envy and QAL and some guys like that, and that wasn't really the direction they went. They went more in a kind of professional restaurateur direction. Dave Anderson from Famous Days, who I guess he's more like a runs an empire than being a restaurateur. Right. He was there. Chris Lilly, of course, who kind of on both sides of that fence, obviously world champion. Big Bob Gibson's, so that was intimidating for sure. The guys from the Shed, Brad from the Shed and his sister Brooke were there. Who else do we have? Matt Lang, a guy from New York who is a pitmaster at Fet Sal in New York City. He was there. And Sarah Horowitz, who was on Hell's Kitchen. I think she was in the first season of one of John Marcus's shows, the one that was out in the snow, maybe.
How does she make it into any barbecue show? I mean, she's got no barbecue chops whatsoever. It's outrageous.
Well, you'll have to wait and see how she does.
I can tell you how well she does. I think I could cook better than. Nevertheless. All right, so now I know for some of the barbecue purists out there listening, and others have weighed in on this kind of show because people have posted kind of what they have heard or what they have read online about the format of the show. And there already have been some people kind of weighing in on the negative, saying that this show isn't really going to showcase barbecue as we know it. It's going to be more of a season 2 of Barbecue Pitmasters. What's your take on it? Should people still see it first, or are they right with their pre-judgments? What do you think?
They need to see it first. It's certainly not a KCBS contest. You know, it's made for TV. They're looking for they're looking for more action than you might see at a KCBS contest where you're cooking briskets for 14 hours. There's definitely some quicker cooking going on for sure. But I don't know. I had my Jambo pit there. I cooked on nothing but wood, and I cooked barbecue. So it's definitely not a KCBS contest, but there's certainly a strong barbecue element there.
So out of all of these contests and situations that they put you in, was there a specific time during your shooting that you had an issue with in specific, or were you pretty much able to handle everything in stride?
No, I certainly had issues. It was hard. It was really hard. I watch all the cooking shows. I'm a TV competition cooking addict. And it's real easy to, I now realize how easy it is to sit on your couch and criticize some of the people on the show and, criticize their dumbass moves that they make from time to time. Right. It is hard doing this under the pressure, under all the lights and everything going on. You can't just, one thing that's going on is that you just can't just go in the corner and cook. Right, you're constantly being interviewed. Right in my cooking area, I had 2 cameras, 2 audio guys, a director, a producer, and they're asking you questions every 2 seconds. And it's like, can you just leave me alone so I could cook? And you can't. You're filming a show. So it was challenging, really challenging. And I had some high points and maybe a few low points. It'll be interesting to see how they edit me.
Chris Hart joining us here on the show, pitmaster of the IQ competition cooking team, world champs back in 2009 down to Jack Daniels. Chris, who did you take with you as your partner?
I brought my right-hand guy from the team, John Delfa, who was with me when we won the Jack Daniels. John's won the Cook's Choice category at Jack Daniels twice. Came in second this past year. He's kind of our chef's choice ringer on our team, and I brought him along with me.
All right, Chris, I'm going to go in a terribly different angle here, and obviously John is a very good choice. Not that you could go back and make any other decision since it was filmed in August, but my man and reality TV show superstar Andy Husbands is part of the IQ team. This guy has been verbally beaten down for weeks by the likes of Chef Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen. Obviously can perform under the most brutal camera conditions. Why not pick Andy for this go-around? No love for Andy.
I think one of the main reasons is that both Andy and I are alpha dogs, and I needed somebody that just did what I tell them to do. I needed like a right-hand guy that just had my back, and John was fine in that role. John certainly could have done done the show on his own, but he was comfortable in the role. When Andy and I get together, we butt heads. We both have our own ways of doing things, and so that's why I went in that direction.
I can't believe that would happen with Andy, but nonetheless, we're talking with Chris Hart from IQ. Obviously, Chris, you can't tell us who won, but compared to some of those other barbecue TV shows that have already been on, and then of course we have another one coming up towards the end of the month, Barbecue Challenge again, that John Marcus themed show that we're going to be talking to him about in the next couple weeks. How does Best in Smoke stack up to all of the ones that we have seen and potentially ones that we will see here in the next few weeks?
I'll say the stage was incredible. The set was an amazing place to film a show. I haven't seen John's new show. I don't know the details of it. I think it's a little. I wasn't a big fan of the last season of Pitmasters necessarily. I think it's gonna stack up to one of the better shows that's been on, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. Where is IQ going to be competing next?
I'm heading down to Delaware in a couple weeks and cooking a contest down there, and then Memorial Day weekend we're at one of our favorite contests, the Rock City Rib Fest up in Rochester, New York, and we're looking to get our first win of the season. Which, if we win a qualifying contest, we'll be going back to the Jack Daniels for our 10th year in a row.
That's right, 10th year in a row. You've won it already, so it would be great to go ahead and win it again.
Yeah, 2009 seems like a long time ago, though. I think we gotta fix that up a little bit.
2 years ago, this coming October, so we'll see how well that goes for you guys. And again, you will see Chris Hart and his partner John this coming Sunday on the Food Network for the Best in Smoke. I believe that airs 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so be on the lookout. Chris, always appreciate the time. Good luck with the show. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, take care. There he is.
Take it easy.
Pitmaster of IQ, world champion, Chris Hart from IQ Barbecue. Again, the website, a little tricky on the spelling in case you want to check them out. IQ, IQ Barbecue, the way I spell it, BARBECUE, IQBarbecue.com. Food Network will have Best in Smoke. Last week's guest, Ken Hess, will be teamed up with Chris Lilly from Big Bob Gibson's, along with the host of other people that he had just mentioned. How the hell does Sarah Horowitz get on barbecue television? And I can't even host a freaking show on television. I don't get that.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Can somebody please explain the logic how I can't get on the TV yet? And this chick has no barbecue chops whatsoever. I'll kick her ass up and down the street and twice on Sunday in the backyard. And I'll outcook her on television any day of the week. Tough guy talking on the microphone, I know. All right, we're going to step away. We'll come back with Robyn Lindars, the Grill Girl. And don't forget Scott Nelson from Swine Assassins will be the After Dark guest. They are currently ranked second in the KCBN. Thanks again to Chris Hart from IQ. We will be back. Stick around.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show.
Barbecue Institute classes are taught by Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Teddy Bear Haskins. They cover everything from choosing the meat and the cooker to smoking, from start to eating. Thousands of our graduates use the knowledge and techniques we teach them for reliably impressing in the backyard and competitive success. We share with you the insider knowledge to meat by that, along with our award-winning sauce and rub recipes, will save you the cost of the class many times over. After you take our classes, you'll understand why techniques work and why some advice on the internet does not. Visit bbqclass.com today.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back to the show. 33 past the hour. Thanks again to Chris Hart for joining me, talking about the Best in Smoke TV show. This portion brought to you by my good buddy, prime retailer to the barbecue stars, Stephen DeFranco. You can find their banner right there on the Barbecue Central Radio Network's homepage. Click on the Stephen DeFranco banner. You got to outfit yourself with a fine timepiece, both for ladies and gents. Ladies, looking for a Mother's Day gift? You're not going to beat the prices anywhere if you call in and get that barbecue brother or sister discount. Click on the banner on the Barbecue Central Radio Network homepage. Then call that number after you've picked out your watch. You can go ahead and peruse online all you want. It's outstanding. It's a good friend of mine, Stephen DeFranco. He is a barbecue guy first and a prime retailer of fine high-end jewelry and timepieces second. Not a distant second, mind you, but a close second. So check him out, Stephen DeFranco Jeweler, located in beautiful and historic Willoughby, Ohio. All right, let's race over the phone lines. And we will go ahead and race to pick up our monthly correspondent. You know her as the Grill Girl. We call her Robyn for fun. Robyn, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you, Greg?
Doing absolutely fabulous, Robyn. Thank you for asking. Always appreciate making time for the show every month. And we've got a lot to get to. But first, let me get your thoughts on this, because obviously you have your finger on the pulse of the barbecue and grilling community, Robyn. There's going to be a new show starting on Food Network this coming Sunday called Best in Smoke. And there are such noticeables, not only noticeables, but notables, as Chris Hart, my previous guest from last segment from IQ. He's a world champion barbecuer. You have the likes of Chris Lilly and Ken Hess. You know Ken, obviously, from the Kingsford University thing that I wasn't invited to. And a number of other really accomplished barbecue people. And then you have this Sarah Horowitz. Do you even know her?
No, I have no idea who that is.
You ever heard of her name before?
No.
How does she get on a television show? I don't get it. Why aren't we on a television show?
I'm assuming you were talking about this earlier, and usually I try to tune in before I go on, but tonight we're making really late dinner because I'm running late today, but I've never heard of her before, ever.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It never ceases to amaze me what TV production houses really press people that they think are primed for television. Who knows? Anyway, I digress. Let me ask you a quick question right off the bat, Robyn. Do you have any? Do you have
to tell you on that note?
All right, go ahead.
They actually reached out to me a while ago, and I don't even know if I realized. Yeah, I think I knew at the time it was on Food Network, and they asked me to try out. But I didn't, because, low and slow is not really my thing. I'm grill girl, not low and slow girl. And that was really what it was all about. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
So you were actually invited to be on this particular show that'll start airing on Sunday.
If it's the same one, that I'll have to dig through my emails, but I think it is, because it was a barbecue competition. It was kind of like a reality barbecue competition show. And it was, I'm pretty sure it's the same one. But, well, honestly, Greg, this industry is so dominated by kind of, it's very male specific.
Sure.
And not that there are not really awesome girls out there who can kick some serious ass in the barbecue world,
right.
But they don't always get found by these people for, they just don't get found by people, period.
Yeah, enough said. Robyn Lindars joining us here. You can find her online, by the way, grillgirl.com, spelled with 3 R's there in the middle of girl, GRRRL.com. And you can follow her on Twitter at grillgirl. Of course, that's weird because it's only 2 R's in the middle of that one. But nevertheless, follow her as you will. So it sounds like you've had quite a busy last month since we've chatted. You were on this big barbecue blogger eating extravaganza. Tell us about that.
It's been busy. I've been joking that I needed to buy a girdle for my trip out to San Francisco. And, it's just busy anyway because it's grilling season. But, yeah, it was so cool. I went out there for work, for my real job that pays the bills. Maybe one day Grill Girl will. But and I got a chance to meet up with Larry Guyan, and you guys all know Larry from the Barbecue Grill. And also Bob Fukushima from Smoke and Brew, which if you guys are on Barbecue Brethren, you know these guys, which is the one place I need to be on. It's just one more social network I just haven't made time for, but I know I need to be on.
Huge.
And also Rob Bergstrom. And so we all met up at Fat Matt's Barbecue and just had like a foodie dork out session and eating extravaganza. And I've never had barbecue on the West Coast because I've always been into barbecue. I'm from North Carolina, which, I grew up in North Carolina. That's like enough said. But, since I've ever made trips out to the West Coast, I was never like in my brain, I need to get barbecue, because I just naively, before I really got into, into the whole blogging thing, thought that barbecue was kind of a Southern thing. But I had some really awesome ribs and smoked meatloaf and brisket, and we had moink balls and pork belly and candied bacon and pecan pie with bacon and peach cobbler, and it was just wow. So
quite a food caloric intake experience.
Oh my God, I was like in a food coma when we left, and it was just followed by large amounts of eating the whole time I was in California, because visiting all my friends, they know I'm into food. So it was everything we did was centered around food. And then we went to this thing called Off the Grid, which was like where all these food trucks meet up. And it was just so cool because especially on the West Coast, there's such more than I'm used to, at least, an Asian influence. So I was eating like pulled pork tacos that were like not, the taco shell was nori roll paper, and massive dumplings and Filipino food, which was like a whole fish that was like grilled with an egg cracked up on top of rice. I mean, it was awesome.
Wow. Sounds like a world-class experience. Robyn Lindars joining us. You know, Robyn, Larry has been credited, whether it be through self-crediting or through like Guinness, of being the creator of the Moink Ball. So getting to meet up with probably what is, at least in his own mind, a living legend from creating this. How would you say the texture of Larry's balls are?
You just love to frame me to be pervy, which is totally fine because, you know what? I'm girl. I'm like one of the guys all the time anyway.
Right. So. I didn't mean it to come out like that, but.
So, you know, I'm a sailing chick too. Like it's like me and a bunch of pervy guys on the boat all the time. I'm totally used to this. But I'm not sure how you want me to answer or how you're expecting me to answer this question, but Larry is awesome. And I've never had his Moink balls that he made specifically, but the ones at Fat Matt's Barbecue had some kind of rub that was a little bit different. I think maybe even some kind of teriyaki rub, again, on that whole Asian note,
right,
you know, on the West Coast. But he's just a super nice guy, and all those guys are just full of lots of great information. Like Rob Bergstrom, he's a blogger, but that's not like his, you know, his shtick. Like he is just super talented. Like if you look at his blog, which is Into the Flames, he does some really creative stuff. And high on the Asian influence, and he's like, I want to say half Chinese, half German or something. Like he's just got some really cool, unique fusion going on with the things on his blog. And that's kind of how I know these guys is we do the 4-ingredient challenge once a month. So we, you know, it's like Chopped for barbecue bloggers. We come up with all these random ingredients and try to make a dish out of it. And so Rob's are usually pretty spectacular.
Now, one of the other things, of course, May is synonymous with it. You called it a grilling season. A lot of people have no idea what that is in the true subculture of barbecue and grilling. But the other thing that comes to mind to me, well, of course, but one of the things that comes to mind is Memphis in May, and that's really one of the biggest barbecue competitions during the course of a calendar year. And from what I understand, you're going to be competing with the Two Sauce to Pork team.
Correct. I met Neil Gallagher through my blog last year because, as you know, my dad loves barbecue too. And it was kind of like our thing that we wanted to have like a father-daughter bonding, go to Memphis in May together.
Can I do this real quick, Robyn? Hold on one second. I want to give special mention to Eddie Medlin. Eddie, what's up, buddy? All right, sorry to interrupt. I want to give Pops a shout.
My dad's getting very popular in the barbecue world.
He is. He's a rising star.
He's a super good networker, and he just started a catering company, and he seems to do his best networking at the bar. So he's going to be very successful.
Absolutely.
So we met up. So I met Neil Gallagher through my blog, and I was just saying, I just did a little write-up about, because, you know, my blog is like a way for me to learn more about the barbecue world. Like I've learned a ton about barbecue, but it's not like I'm classically trained, and, you know, I mean, it's a great way for me to also take a journalistic stance on a lot of things and treat it like a research project, you know, and because I actually do have a journalism degree from way back when I was in college. So I you know, so that's how I kind of approach things. So anyway, I met Neil through my blog, and he was like, by the way, just so you know, you really can't just visit and go to Memphis in May. Like just being someone who wants to come and see what it's like, you won't have any kind of experience, because unless you're on a team, there's really nothing for you to see except for like that caravan thing they do where you have to basically like buy a ticket, and maybe you do. So it's just kind of very different. And he was like, you know, we accept new team members, and we met that way. And then so we got invited on the team, and their team is very cool and very different in that it's not like, oh, you've had to know the people on your team since you were like 5 and you live next door to each other, right. You know, like it's very cool because it's really diverse, because there's guys from all over that they've met somehow, and they all really love barbecue, and they've joined the team. So I've met guys who have joined the team from, you know, Wisconsin, and Texas. And the team itself is Memphis and Buffalo based because Neil moved to Buffalo. But, originally all Memphis based. So it's just got a very cool, very open vibe. And with a name like Two Sauce to Pork, I mean, that just says it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like it's going to be a great time. And, barring the rain and the flooding that's been going on there, I've heard they're actually moving locations to make sure that they're going to be able to have it in a nice, safe area for everybody to kind of peruse the event. It's always one of the most anticipated and highly coveted events to win during the course of the year, regardless of sanctioning body. Memphis May definitely one of the ones to do out there. Of course, you also have these Grilling Girl clinics, and one of these is coming up in June, right?
Yep, I'm doing my first. It's a big deal. I mean, for me, in my little world, it's a big deal because it's my first clinic I'm doing outside of South Florida. I met George Ewart from Dead End Barbecue through my buddy Chris Grove. I kind of have this like extended family of my barbecue peeps, if you will. And he puts on a summer grilling series, and he actually had heard about me through Chris, and he wanted to do something catered to women. And there's been a lot of excitement about it. So I'm doing one June 18th, women only. Guys, sorry you can't come, but and it's really just all about kind of what my shtick is, getting women to not be intimidated about grilling and really feeling confident to know how to start a grill and do some fun dishes that you can take home and make for your family.
Do you have any, and I'm getting a lot of questions on the instant chat, but do you have any drink suggestions for us this week?
Ha ha ha. Of course, the rib job.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if people were just looking for something to make during the course of the weekend because it is Kentucky Derby week, and that'll be going off Saturday. So I don't know, like if you had like a special twist on a mint julep or something, crazy to kind of enjoy the party a little bit more on Saturday.
Well, I had this really awesome drink in San Francisco, and it's probably why I had the worst plane ride ever because I was so hungover the next day, which we all know how much is so much fun when you're flying with with a terrible hangover. But it was they were very much like it wasn't a mint julep, but there was mint and cucumber and vodka. And I thought about how cool would it be to grill the cucumbers and get a little smokiness going on. I mean, very much the same way you can, even Chris Lilly did with Kingsford, the grilled pickles.
Right.
But, yeah, and I was thinking for Mother's Day, grilled mimosas. I mean, that's not hard. Grill some oranges and some grapefruit and toss it with some champagne. There you go.
You're all about the grilling of the drinks now ever since you got back from Kingsford U, right?
That really, inspired me, Greg. I mean, that was, wow. Except, you know what? It is kind of a pain in the butt because you have to squeeze a lot of lemons to get all that juice.
Oh, I would have to imagine you're making, fresh drinks. That's got to be, a bushel at least.
You need a helper when you do that, or just, it's just a lot of work, but it's fun. If you have people over, you can put your guests to work, as long as they're into it, which I did a mock grilling clinic for, I think I told you about, I'm going to have a little small appearance on that show called Foodography, which is hosted by Mo Roca on the Cooking Channel, which is some people love him and some people hate him. And my association with him was when, remember that series they had on VH1 that was called I Love the 80s?
Oh, yeah. Mo Roca. Love that guy.
Yeah. So he hosts it. And so these people came and we did a mock grilling clinic in my backyard. And I did the grilled lemonade, and I realized, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I did this on this show because I did so much food prep. I had so many lemons in my house because they wanted basically me to do 3 of everything. And of course I made 5 dishes. So I was it was just crazy, but you'll see that on TV. We did we did grilled lemonade on Foodography. So you'll see it, and hopefully I don't come off like an airhead on TV.
And that's going to be in June, right? That's going to be June?
Sometime in June. They haven't given me a specific date, but it's their grilling themed episode. And I have to say that luckily, from my job, I've learned how to search engine optimize myself so that when you Google the real spelling of Grill Girl, not the funky way I spell it,
right,
I actually pull up number 3.
Wow.
And the reason I did that was when I went to do my URL, someone had taken that URL.
Oh.
It's some girl in Canada who does not respond to anything, really.
Just another reason to hate Canada, right?
Well,
yeah, it's America's hat for crying out loud.
But you remember that punk band, Greg, called Riot Girl, and they spelled it like GRRL? That's kind of, I was like, yeah, punk rock, grilling, yay, and that's kind of where, but anyway.
It's a very cohesive thought, at least. A very cohesive thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. We're talking with Robyn Medlin, and you can find her at grillgirl.com, GRRRL.com. Always got some great recipes. Again, she does the 4-ingredient challenge. She's all over the place, so you want to keep up with her. And, of course, you can find her again next month. We'll make sure that we build up for the big June premiere of the Cooking Channel show, so when next time you have details, we'll make sure we promote it very heavily for next month.
Okay, perfect. And I have an idea for you.
All right.
So like I said, I was a little late on dinner tonight. We're kind of doing this house renovation. So, just everything's just a little later. So I was literally pulling dinner off the grill at like 9:30.
Wow.
And I was thinking, how cool would it be to do some live grilling on the show? Have you ever done that before?
No, I don't know how much of a potential effect it would lose considering it's like, radio.
I don't know. I mean, but I know you can be seen on Ustream. I mean, I don't know. I thought it might be neat. Who knows? There could be potential.
Yeah, we might be able to hook something up. I'm actually trying to work with Kevin Bevington from Outdoor Cooking Channel to actually get this show kind of syndicated video at the same time as well. I mean, who knows? With technology booming as it has over the last couple of years, we could be doing a live grilling segment on the radio with Grill Girl in like Southern Florida, and I'm in Cleveland. It would be outrageous. You
never know, Greg. I was just thinking, like, it would be cool to hear the sizzle on the grill from behind. I don't know. But I will tell you on an ending note, I bought one of those salt grilling planks and I was like dying to use it. So I just made curried shrimp and I was a little bit, I was a little bit like a speculative, like, all right, is this really going to give me a salty flavor? Because I'm a big fan of sea salt and it actually does, like whatever you cook on it does kind of absorb the salt flavor. So if you're thinking of getting one, they're actually pretty cool. And I don't know, they might just be a fun party trick when you have people over.
All right, good to keep in mind. So again, we'll visit with Robyn Lindars next month. Always appreciate the time, Robyn. Look for you again.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. Take care. There she is. It's the girl. Robyn Lindars. I think I called her Medlin once. I'm getting down. Usually it's like 3 or 4 times, I think, that I do that during the course of the segment. Look, it was Medlin at first. I always remember things first. It's hard to remember things second. People on the chat board really pushing me, trying to get me to go in deep, dark places. Wow, that didn't sound good either. All right, so thanks to Robyn Lindars. You can find her on the website grillgirl.com, GRRRL, grillgirl.com. Grill your drinks. The recipe, take fruit, grill it, add some type of clear or brown liquor to it, and it will be great. She's doing it all the time now. Squeezing lemons and oranges and pomegranate. I don't think you can grill pomegranate. Don't ever do that. They're a pain in the ass to eat. All right, we're going to step away. We'll do the 4-segment free-for-all. 877-448-0433 is the number to call to get in touch with that. We're going to do sports questions or barbecue questions. You're going to win free stuff. And this could be the last one of its kind as we know it for now. We'll see. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
big-name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, 4 minutes till the top of the hour. I got to apologize to my man Darian over at Cosmos Q. I must have incorrectly mixed down and faded out that last portion of our commercial block because he's been getting gypped off for the last 5 seconds of his spot there. So I'm going to make that adjustment. Sorry, Darian. Got one of the best products out there, buddy. Don't worry. All right, let's go ahead and play this fourth segment free-for-all. Let me get this right. Oh, for the love of Pete. There we go. All right. We'll race to the hotline and pick up area code 954. Name and where you're calling from.
Bill, Hollywood, Florida.
Hey, Bill, how are you tonight?
Pretty good. How you doing, Rick?
I'm outstanding, Bill. You're in Hollywood, Florida. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, so you're obviously doing better than me. But nevertheless, we have a game that we call the 4-segment free-for-all. You're going to answer either sports questions or barbecue questions. You have 3 seconds to answer each individual question, culminating in a free prize, which tonight is the Draper's Rub and Sauce Prize Pack. Do you want to give it a try?
Sure.
All right, Bill. First question. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want sports or barbecue questions, Bill?
Barbecue.
All right, barbecue questions it is, Bill. During the second segment of the show, I was interviewing Chris Hart from IQ. In 2009, they took grand champion at what event that is widely considered to be the event to win during the course of the competition season?
The Jack.
That's
Daniels.
right. Jack Daniels competition is absolutely right. Question number 2, Bill. In the course of prepping your poultry, if you were to take the backbone out of a chicken or a turkey, there is a semi-sexual term for that. Can you tell me what it's called?
I believe that would be spatchcocking.
Spatchcocking is exactly right. Bill, you're 2 for 2. You're 1 question away from winning a prize. And here is question number 3. Bill, I was just talking with Robyn Medlin. She is the grill girl. And a couple, I think it was 2 months ago now, she uttered the phrase that was terribly perverse. She had no idea what she was talking about. Well, Kingsford U. And it was the name of a drink. Can you tell me the name of that drink?
Got me.
Get that big stuff out of here.
I'm sorry, Bill. I'm sorry, Bill. If you're a fan of the show, you know that. You know that. Come on. I'm giving away the prizes. This is me giving the prizes to you. Come on, man. You know what it's called. You just didn't. Wait a second. Wait a second. I think I know what's going on. You just didn't want to say it. I understand. I think Rod Gray from Pellet Envy would like to weigh in on this, though. Rod, do you have anything to say? What would you like to say?
Nothing.
All right, never mind that. 877-448-0433 for your chance to win the Draper's Prize Pack. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Fred Brown weighing in said that we should have more show. Duly noted, Fred. I think I will pare out a couple more minutes in each segment. I think I will do that. All right. Well, I do have some obligations for next hour, so I need to make sure that I meet those. One more time, 877-448-0433 for your chance to win the Draper's Prize Pack. It consists of a rather large bottle of barbecue sauce, which is very good, and also a very nice-sized bottle of all-purpose rub, the AP, which when Scott Roberts was reviewing that in the show last month, I had to ask him exactly what AP meant, because some of us hosts aren't as bright as we look on camera. Apologies to Sean. All right. Now watch, usually I do this and it comes to bite me in the ass, but we'll see. All right. Oh, hold on a second there. Oh.
This is Jim Minion from Two Loose Screws. I'm listening to Barbecue Central.
Well, Jim, you know, you can't Can't just ease in. You got to really hammer it in there, buddy. All right, my bad there on the automation. All right, we'll wrap up the first hour. We got to come back in 4 minutes and talk with Scott Nelson from Swine Assassins barbecue team, so I need room to do that. No winner in the fourth segment, free for all, just lending more and more validation to pulling time away from this portion of the show. But we'll figure it out a different way in the viral community, known as the internets, the interwebs, the inner tubes, if you will. Thanks to Chris Hart from IQ for joining me during the second segment of the show, talking about Best in Smoke. Mark your calendars, because that's going to be on this Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Food Network. So watch him, see if he progresses through these 4 shows. Also, thanks to Robyn Lindars for joining me as she does every month. Always fun to talk to Robyn. And we will find her again in June at some point. She'll be on the cooking channel that month as well. So we'll make sure that we give you all the information for that. All right, we're going to step away with a quick Kent Whitaker. And then, and only then, we'll come back for the second hour, which will be Scott Nelson from Swine Assassins Barbecue. Stick around for Kent. We'll be right back on the Barbecue Central radio show. Stick around.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
You could use it to fight off creeping marauders looking to take your steaks off your grills.
I just like being anywhere with Junior, Senior, and Diva.
Sounds like a whole other type of movie.
Wow. Yeah, really. Keep it hot, keep it clean, keep it lubricated.
We have top men working on it right now. Ooh, top men.
All right, 6 past the hour, and we are in After Dark mode, ladies and gentlemen. Rip, roaring, get ready to rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Kick back, pop open the cold ones, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to get loose. Up in this hizzle. Barbecue Central Rap Radio Show. Wiki, 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 I think that. Is that what the kids say these days? Wiki, wiki, wiki. Nevertheless. Let's answer. Looks like the Grill Girl has jumped in on the Ustream chat. Who is Sarah Horowitz? Is there any way I cannot do that every week? Is there any way is that possible? Just Googled Sarah Horowitz, can't find out. Look, Google the word loser, and then you'll find out who she is. Look, hack cook that got kicked off of Hell's Kitchen like 3 weeks in, and somehow she's riding barbecue coattails. Look, here's my solemn vow to you people. I'm not using that as a derogatory term. I'm not talking down to you. Here's my promise to the Centralites. When I have John Marcus on here in 2 weeks' time, on the 24th, we'll be having him for the second and third segment of the first hour. I will ask him how she was even cast in like his first or second version of the Barbecue Challenge series. And we'll see what he has to say. I mean, I understand that there has to be some type of charisma. That's my New York accent coming across. Charisma on front of the television, but you have to be kidding me. There has to be at least 1 or 1 billion more qualified barbecue people in the world, no, in the country, to go in place of her before she would even be considered in barbecue standards. But look, obviously I have an ass. Obviously I have an axe to grind. And I should put it away for safekeeping. All right, I am exactly 3 minutes late for my next guest. Hopefully he doesn't hold it against me. We are going to be joined by a first-timer to the show. He is the pitmaster of Swine Assassins Barbecue Team. They are currently ranked second in the KCBS Team of the Year standings. Of their 9 events currently so far in 2011, they have only finished out of the top 10 twice. They have a pair of grand championships and a pair of reserve grands to their credit already. So let's go ahead and race over the hotline. We will pull up. First-timer to the show, Scott Nelson, pitmaster of the Swine Assassins Barbecue Team. Scott, how are you tonight, buddy?
Outstanding. How's it going, Greg?
I'm doing outstanding myself, Scott, and I appreciate you making time for the show. Welcome into the Barbecue Central radio show, Jungle as it were. And before we kind of get off running and talking about all this cooking stuff and all the fun, great accolades that you have been achieving here over 2011, perhaps for those that aren't as familiar with the Swine Assassins team, of course, many on the circuit quickly taking notice of you guys. Tell me how the team came together, and has barbecue always been something that has been a part of your life?
Well, it's definitely always been something that's been a part of my life. I grew up in a house where our garage looked like Home Depot on the grill sales, with about 1,700 grills hanging out there. My dad had more grills than money, that's for sure. So it's always been a part of my life, but that was more the grilling, not necessarily the barbecuing. We kind of got into it because there's a big contest here in Mason City, Iowa, where we live, that Ruth puts on. And we went to that, and it looked pretty fun. We're ultra competitive, so we thought, well, we can do it. We jumped in, and we got our butts kicked the first 4 contests, and so we kind of worked at it, and it's gone up from there.
All right, so how did you form a team, and when did you actually start competing officially?
Our best friends, Chris and Brandy Paulson, from Mason City, Iowa here also, we decided after we went to the contest that we wanted to try our luck at competition barbecue. So we got together, tried it out, and like I said, we took a class. We took Chanham Artillery's class, which was extremely wonderful. It helped us get our foot in the door, and then we kind of tweaked it from there. The 4 of us together go out and we compete on a weekly basis. Now it's been crazy. It's been crazy fun and exciting. We formed the team. I guess the question you're asking is how we formed the team together, and it was just something like it kind of came naturally, you know. We love to hang out together. We're like, how can we hang out, see each other every weekend, drink beer, make friends, and have a good time? And they're like, oh, hell, barbecue, why not? And we get our wives and low-cut Swine Assassins white beer T-shirts. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. We're talking with Scott Nelson, one of the pitmasters of Swine Assassins Barbecue Team. So, Scott, are you and Chris sharing like head pitmaster duties, or is one a designated top guy and the other a right-hand man?
No, we absolutely share designated head pitmaster duties. We're one of the only teams that I know of that does that. We're basically 50-50 partners in it all the way, which it's a little unique, but it works well for us.
How does that work out exactly? Do you do 2 of the meats and Chris does 2 of the meats, or are you debating and consulting over turn-ins? I would imagine that if you guys aren't really working hand in hand, it could become, I don't want to say contentious at points, but to where you're probably investing a lot of talk time versus getting the boxes ready and making sure they're getting turned in on time.
You know, that's kind of what it was when we started off. It was a lot of fumbling around, stepping on each other's toes a little bit, but we kind of found our places, you know. I work with Chris's wife, Brandy, when we do our turn-ins and when we're slicing meat and stuff. And Chris works with my wife, Katie. That way there's a lot less fighting that way. So we kind of all found our places as we went. You know, we're like, Chris is a really good slicer. He's better at that. He does all of our slicing. I do a lot of the injecting, and, you know, together we just make up the duties that it takes to get it done.
And how did you come up with team names? I'm always fascinated by how people come up and name their respective teams. How does Swine Assassins come to live?
That is a great question. It's if you ask Katie, she came up with it, and if you ask Chris, he came up with it. So it's really hard to say what the real story is. It was a long debate. You know, we went through a few names when we first started. We started as Backwoods Boys for a little bit, and then we did a contest as Closet Smokers, and that one wasn't a very big hit. So then last year we decided let's come up with a good team name, and then we've stuck with it.
All right, so is this like the starting of the second year of Swine Assassins then?
Correct. Yeah, we did 4 contests 2 years ago under 2 different team names. So we did 2 under one and then 2 under another one. And then last year we started Swine Assassins. This is the second year that Swine Assassins has been a competitive barbecue team.
All right, and what are you guys cooking on during your contest?
We're cooking on backwoods Fat Boys, and we break them in the right way. We drop them on their face, right on their head on accident. Both of them have been dropped, and now they're both broke in. They cook like champs.
Broke in literally. We're talking with Scott Nelson of Swine Assassins. Yeah. Why do you choose the Fat Boys versus any of the other cookers that are out there on the competition scene right now?
We've used we cooked on a Fast Eddie a little bit last year, and we've used some WSMs. We like the Fat Boys. They're insulated. They're large enough that if we needed to, we could do a whole contest on one. We just like the way they cook. We run a guru on them, and they hold temperature like a champ. And they get a lot of smoke on them. You can add as much or as little smoke as you want. We add some wood chunks into the charcoal pan there, and get it rocking and rolling.
And you said you took a cooking class initially. Have you taken any other cooking classes since that initial one?
Knowledge is power. So we've taken more than one class. The best class that, the one that we got the most out of was definitely Chad Ham Artillery's barbecuecoach.com. I would recommend it to anybody out there on the circuit that's looking to better their quality. A lot of good information. He's got his, it's all right online there. So that's the best one that we took, but we've taken lots of other classes to try and improve ourselves, make ourselves better.
All right, so I'm guessing that this question is potentially superfluous at this time, but is your take on cooking classes in general a good thing, a bad thing, or indifferent?
I'm all about that. I love them. I think they're a good thing. I think it's helped bring barbecue up. I think there's a lot of teams on the circuit that can win at any contest that you go to because of it. There's teams that you never heard of before, like us, that can step in and somehow win a contest because we've learned the basics from somebody, and then the more you cook, the better you get. So we tweak it a little bit each week. And there's a lot of teams out there that, they take one class, they come out, and they win a grand champion, or they finish in the top 3. And it's crazy, but it happens.
Do you think that's because, and I've done, a number of interviews with especially some of the teams that have had success and that are now, I don't want to say parlaying cooking classes into a scope of their particular business during the course of the year, but, some of the more notable teams that are out there doing a handful of classes, they charge, at least in my opinion, a fairly decent amount, $500, $600, $750 for the course of a weekend's class, or maybe not even 48 hours in total. The teams that are turning around and winning right away, aren't they basically just using what they were just taught? And are you excited if you win there, or are you kind of like, I'm just using what the guy just taught me to use because that's what he's winning, so I'm going to use what he's winning? And are we kind of amalgamating flavor profiles instead of diversifying at that point?
I agree. You're amalgamating flavor profiles, but who doesn't like to win? I know teams. I know teams firsthand that go out and they'll cook and they either refuse to take classes or they don't believe in it or for whatever reason, and they're consistently finishing the middle of the pack. Once in a while they get a win, and I understand there's a very valid point behind if I'm going to win, I'm going to win my way. It's going to be my homemade rub, it's going to be my homemade sauce, it's going to be my smoker that I welded in my garage, and that's how I'm going to win. And in reality, I think that happens very seldom. I think that you have to get, the judges are looking for a specific taste. You have to be close to that taste. Now, I'm not saying that we haven't taken any class and cooked exactly like that. Mm-hmm. You take it, you work with it, you tweak it, and then you adjust it. Our pork has gone all over the board. We've switched it so many times. It's like every week we're like, well, let's try this. So I think that there is something to be said about, you're doing it somebody else's way, but I don't think you can even repeat it. If I take Rod Gray's class tomorrow, a guy that notably teaches a lot of classes, he's an excellent cook. If I take his class tomorrow, I can't cook as well as he can at his class. So I think if I'm competing against him, even if I'm doing it his way, he's better at it because he does it every week. So you have to tweak it your own way, make it what works for you, and I think that's been successful for us.
Scott Nelson from Swine Assassins barbecue team joining us here on the show. The website, by the way, and it's been getting more and more revamped as time has gone along. If you're following on their Facebook fan page, swineassassinsbbq.com, if you want to go ahead and check Scott and Chris out there along with the rest of the team. By the way, you have to get those shirts in like mass production. They're some of the coolest barbecue T-shirts I've ever seen. Do you have swag that you can buy on the website yet?
We don't, but that's a great idea. I have an entire pile of shirts sitting in my corner of my house right now that I'm looking at. We got shirts and sweatshirts and hats, and we love them. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, they've been they've been a big hit. Maybe we'll have to post those up on the website for purchase.
Yeah, why not make a few extra bucks? I mean, as somebody who is out there now every weekend, we had talked about people taking these classes, turning around and winning and all that stuff. But for the people that don't know, or for the people that might be looking to get into competition to some degree, but they don't have a real idea of what the potential expense of not even multiple, but just a competition could be during the course of a weekend, what's your expense layout, even if you're just kind of in a local competition?
Yeah, you're doing a local competition. You got your meat expense. We cook 2 briskets. We cook four racks of ribs. We cook 2 shoulders, and we cook what's the other one I'm looking for? Brisket, shoulder, ribs, chicken. We cook 24 chicken thighs. So you get your meat expense usually around $200. Your entry expense is, depending on the contest, between $175 and $225. You got your expenses of your rubs and your sauces. So you can get in one, but it's not cheap. If you're going to do it right and give yourself the best chance to win, I think you're going to spend between $500 and $700 at a contest where you're going to cook as much meat as we do. You can cook it for less. My dad has a competition team. He doesn't cook as much meat as we do, so he can do it for less. We just like to have the options.
But you still have to win a competition in order to even begin to recoup the amount of expense that you're putting in during the course of a weekend.
Absolutely. It's hard to make money at it when you're doing it on a weekly basis. We do it because we have fun. We bring all 7 of our kids with us. We have 5 kids ourselves, and our partners, Chris and Brandy Paulson, have 2 kids. So
wow.
We bring all 7 of our kids with us. Our dog, it's like a zoo when we go. There's usually carnivals and everything else going on. So we do it because we have a great time. We love the people that we meet on the circuit. We love to have a good time. And if you can go to a contest and you can compete and you can break even or come close to breaking even, it's less expensive than going to the casino and spending $100 at the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott Nelson joining us here on the show. So as you have kind of made that concerted effort to get out there every week, and you're sitting second right now in Team of the Year. Obviously, this is a marathon season, as everybody knows, still very early. But you looking to make a run for Team of the Year, or do you have other interests outside of that crown that, it's not necessarily a main focus? If it happens, it happens, but if it doesn't, it doesn't?
In all honesty, we're trying to make a run. We want to win. We go to every contest, hoping and thinking that we can win, and so we're trying to cook as much as we can, and we're hoping to make a legitimate shot at taking the toy standings this year.
So as you look at
how it goes, you can't win them all, but we're trying.
As you look at the competition schedule for the course of this year, have you made definitive plans and travel to attend what you think are going to be some of the highly and most attended contests in order to get you most points and all that stuff?
That's a factor that we recently talked about, because we didn't. Initially, we set it out and we said, okay, we're going to cook all the stuff that's by us, and then when there's nothing close to us, we're going to travel a little bit. And some of the contests that are going to be by us, you're only going to get 30, 40 teams in them, so you won't get as many points, even if you do get lucky and pull off a win in those. So that's something that we still have to kind of discuss as the year goes on. Like you said, it's still pretty early in the year. We haven't even had any contests in Iowa yet. The first one's coming up in 2 weeks. So we got a schedule set out on our website now, but it might change as things go on, and depending on how we finish in the upcoming contests.
Now, it looked like Mike Wozniak from QOW overtook you during the course of the last.
He knocked this out. I'm gonna have to put him in a headlock when I see him.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. But you were sitting atop the leaderboard there for a good portion of time here over the first part of the year.
Yeah.
Is that exciting to see your team name up there? You have 4,000, 5,000 teams registered with KCBS, but you were definitely cream of the crop. And hell, 2 out of 4,000 or 5,000 definitely isn't anything to sneeze at. And you're very close in points right now. Do you think it's going to be difficult if Mike makes a push like he did last year, where he isn't going to repeat?
Yeah, Mike's got a great chance of repeating. He's a solid cook. Obviously, he's proven that time and time again. We're new on the block, so we're just going to try and give it our best run. But yeah, I would love to be up there and be able to say we knocked him off, but we'll see how the year plays out. We're going to give it a good run.
So what do you think sets your barbecue apart when it's turned into the judging table from some of the other teams that are out there right now?
One thing that we got going for us is we got 4 people in when we're finishing. We got 4 people in there looking at every single little aspect of presentation. If it looks good, it tastes good, in my opinion. So you got to be on with your cook. Your food has to taste good no matter what. But if they're looking at the box and they're giving it an 8 on presentation, it's hard to or a 7 on presentation even, it's hard to get 9 behind it, in my opinion. So, our barbecue's good, and I think that you win and lose a contest in the last 5 minutes. 5 minutes before you turn that category in is when you're going to win and lose it. So we got the extra eyes, extra hands on our team that has worked out so far. Not as good as we'd like. We'd like to be number 1 still, but close enough.
Scott Nelson joining us here on the show. He is one of the 2 pit masters of the Swine Assassins barbecue team. Scott, I did a round of competition barbecue roundtables last year, and I didn't necessarily think the question was as provocative and salacious as it ended up being, especially for one of the barbecue roundtables. But do you guys taste your food before you turn it in, or do you cook it the way you cook it, you season it the way you do, and kind of throw a Hail Mary over it and you run it to the turn-in box?
I don't ever taste the chicken. I'm not a big chicken fan. We all kind of taste it and we all put our opinion in, but Katie, my wife, she's got the best palate out of all of us. So when it comes down to it, I'll be like, this is good. And she'll be like, that tastes like crap. I don't know what you're talking about. So then whatever she says, that's what I go with. If it's food, I'll eat it. So I have a hard time deciding to me, everything's pretty much good. So we leave it up to her at the end if it's a question. But the 3 of them pretty much taste everything. I taste the ribs and the brisket. I don't ever taste the chicken. And once in a while I'll taste the pork, depending on if they already decided one's a lot better than the other or not.
So if you were cooking on your own for some unforeseen circumstance, would you taste any of the turn-ins at that point, or would you taste them all?
I would taste them all. If I was cooking on my own, I'd taste them all. I'd taste them all, and I'd go with what I thought. But I wouldn't feel as comfortable about it as if I had my wife next to me.
So as you gain more time and experience on the circuit, do you think that as you become more familiar with different areas of the country, different regions? We all know there's 4 regions of barbecue. You have the Carolinas, you have Texas, you have Memphis, you have Kansas City, and then obviously the West Coast is becoming more and more prevalent as its own version and region of barbecue. Do you think you might, or perhaps you do now, depending on where you're going to be at, do you flavor profile a little bit differently depending on the region you're at?
We haven't in the past, but we again, like we talked about it, we went out and cooked in California and Arizona, and we did really well out there, and we cooked the same way that we did, and then we came back and we cooked in Kansas City. Whether it's because there's a lot better, not shouldn't say better, there's really good cooks on the West Coast, but there's a lot more. You get higher team numbers when you're cooking in the Midwest, and we didn't finish as well there. Especially right in the Kansas City area. And we kind of had it tweaked down to something that we think that we need to change. And if we cook down in that area again this year, I think we're going to make a couple small changes on a little bit of the flavor profile there.
All right, Scott, I got to ask you this question because it seemed to become right on the precipice of what was new and potentially what was going to be the new fad of barbecue, and it rang up last year. This Wagyu beef brisket. Are you part of the Snake River craze of Wagyu beef? Are you cooking something choice, something CAB? What are you doing?
We've tried Wagyu. I want to like Wagyu. I really want to cook it, but I can't convince my teammates to cook it. So I'm going to get all of them on the phone. You're going to tell them all that we need to cook Wagyu, because every time we cook it, they think it tastes like raw meat or something. It tastes bad. It's got like a rotten taste to it, in our opinion. Maybe we're cooking it wrong because we're cooking it like we cook our CAB. We cook CAB briskets. We have since day one for competition, but we've cooked many a Wagyu brisket from Snake River Farms and other places in our garages and out back, and they just don't turn out for us. I don't know. We're doing something wrong. Somebody needs to help us.
So you're saying that the beef itself has a bad taste. It's not like the mouthfeel makes it feel raw.
Yeah, to me, I think it tastes fairly good. But like I said, I like everything. The other three on our team are they're like, yeah, it doesn't taste right. It tastes rotten. So it tastes like it went bad. And maybe we just had the unlucky 9 briskets that we've cooked in our backyard that have all been bad. But we can't cook Wagyu good. So if there was ever a contest we got in where you had to cook Wagyu, I think we'd be in trouble.
Well, if you've cooked 9 briskets like that and they've all tasted rancid to the people with, self-proclaimed better palates, it's like $958,000 that you've flushed down the drain on bad beef brisket. Have you tried like their pork
friends? So we have parties. We cook them when we have like Super Bowl parties, during the winter. We're cooking it, even though the competition only goes, from February till October, November. We cook all of those during the week or during the winter, and we do some catering on the side for friends. So when we're doing some catering on the side, we'll throw one in and go, we got to try this. I'll convince the team. We got to try it. I know we can do better if we cook a Wagyu brisket. Everybody's cooking them. We need to cook it. And we'll get it out there and we'll cook it, and they'll say it's no good.
So do you cook them?
Put it in for the catering. Don't tell anyone that.
Do you cook the Wagyu at like the same temperature that you would normally the other briskets? Are you cooking them, at a higher temperature? Is there like a fat boiling out type thing? What do you think?
We cook low and slow. We've cooked them all low and slow, but we've cooked them differently. We've pulled them at different temperatures. I shouldn't say we cooked them the same, and we've tried pulling them at different temperatures, pulling them a little bit earlier than we normally would, pulling them a little bit later than we normally would, and it just hasn't worked out for us. There's some magic to it that somebody has to teach me, or else it's like my nemesis. It's my kryptonite, man. Wagyu is my kryptonite.
Not many people saying it, and you heard it here first. The Scott Nelson from Swine Assassins barbecue team should be Wagyu Assassins barbecue team.
There you go.
So you're having better success just going to like a big box store and buying something out of the rack then?
We cook a mean brisket. Don't get me wrong. Our CAB is pretty good.
Oh sure.
It's really good, and that's the big reason why I can't convince the team to switch over, because who wants to change when you're doing well with it? Yeah, we go to Sam's Club, buy our briskets at Sam's Club, and then we have a local butcher that we started buying from this year. I got to give a shout out to Mike from Rockford Meat Locker. So we get a lot of our briskets from him now starting this year.
All right, so when we get into the pork butt section, are you, like many of the people out there in competition, are you injecting some form or fashion, or do you not inject the butts?
No, we inject the butts, yeah.
And is it a homemade concoction, or are you using something that's out there and that some of the other teams are using?
Pork, we've switched a million different times. The last few times we've used the homemade concoction. We've used every pork injection on the market, and it really is. I don't know. It's better sometimes and worse sometimes. So we haven't found our secret yet. We'll do good on one, and we'll go, that's it, and then we'll cook it again the next week, and then we won't do as well. So we're kind of mixing and matching. We've used our own the last few times, and I think that's what we're going to stick with for now until it doesn't do well, I'm sure, and then we'll switch.
Have you ever injected ribs before? I'm hearing about this a little bit more and more. Anything you would ever consider, or no?
I would definitely consider anything. Anything that's going to make us better, I'm absolutely open to. I've not tried it myself, though, no. I haven't tried it, but I would. I'd be interested to try that and see how it turned out.
I got an email from a listener last week sometime, and I gave him my own answer, but perhaps it would be better answered by somebody that's actually out there competing on a weekend in, weekend out basis. He had attended a competition. He was given a sample, and he thought that the flavor was kind of run of the mill, middle of the road, and he was under the impression that he was going to be kind of wowed with an over the top type of flavor profile. Would you say that because you're only able to get that judge's impression on or get that judge's attention on one or two bites at the most, that you're going to go over the top more than you're not with flavor profiles, or are you going to kind of keep it middle of the road?
If I have a choice, we go a little bit over the top. I want them to be able to take a bite and remember it, not with heat, but more with flavor. So, yeah, I would say, we're middle of the road, edging towards more flavor on the flavor profile.
Some of the best advice that you could give a new team, kind of being new yourself, but some of the best advice you could give a new team coming into the circuit, what would you say?
If you like hanging out with friends and having a good time, keep at it. Like I said, our first four contests, our best finish was 11th in brisket, and overall we were way down there. But if you really want to do it and you want to be able to continue to do it, then you got to be able to win once in a while in order to even feasibly afford it. Like we talked about earlier, it's an expensive hobby, but if you can win once in a while and make up some of your expenses, it becomes a lot more fun. So yeah, one of the best things is stick with it. You got to have a baseline. I don't think that there's many guys that can just step off from going, all my friends think that my ribs are the best in the world, and I'm going to go cook at a contest and try it and win. Now, there are some people out there that are that good. That's just, it didn't work for us. We needed something to give us a baseline to get us started, and then from there we kind of tweaked it and made it our own. And it's a lot different now than it was when we started, but it's been a fun journey. So I would tell them, stick with it, and if it's not working out, invest a little bit of money. Take Bill's class from Chatham Artillery and go with it from there.
Now, it seems, at least in my estimation, that the state of Iowa has become a relative hotbed of competition barbecue obscenery success. You have the Darren Worth from Iowa Smoky D's, obviously his business partner is Shad Curtin, who's winning television shows and 85-foot trophies, as well as being very successful on the circuit. You have the Mo Kason, you have Tippy Canoe Barbecue, just to name a few yourself. Obviously, I mean, what is going on with Iowa over here?
You can't forget Big T's. Big T's is out there.
Absolutely, right.
There's a lot of, you know what, Iowa, you haven't heard yet, Craig? Iowa barbecue rules the world.
Yeah, evidently.
It's all over. It's all over, yeah. Iowa barbecue rules the world. You know, there's a lot of great cooks in Iowa and a lot of great friends here. It's fun competing with them every weekend, and they only make you better, you know. The best part about cooking in Iowa is if you stay up late enough, you can give them enough beer and enough wine and enough whiskey that you can sneak some secrets from them.
So it's all coming a little full circle here. Perhaps Scott has let the cat out of the bag. Scott Nelson joining us, Swine Assassins barbecue team, half of the pit masterfulness of Swine Assassins. Scott, where are you going to be competing next? Is it going to be this coming weekend?
Yeah, we're competing this coming weekend, and I got to walk over here and move my phone off the computer to look and see where we're going, because I don't even know.
Somewhere to win, though, right?
Yeah, that's right. Apple Valley. We're going to Apple Valley, followed by Council Bluffs, and then we'll be out in Vegas.
Vegas is that the Sam's Club thing?
No, that's the Orleans Casino Vegas one.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Are you taking? Are you guys doing Sam's Club this year?
Yes, we're doing Sam's Club in Madison, Wisconsin.
All right. What do you think about that whole Sam's Club barbecue championship series? You excited to see something like that where, you know, for years and years you've had barbecuers go to the Sam's Club and spend all of their hard-earned dollars there to kind of outfit themselves for the weekend. Good to see them kind of giving back and stepping up at the same time.
Couldn't agree more. It's a great thing for barbecue. It really is. We're really excited about it. I hope we don't lay an egg.
Give me your chances now, way outside of the whole scope here of you winning the whole damn thing.
Oh man, I would say slim, but I have to believe we can win if we're going to do it, right?
Right.
So 50-50. Either we're going to win or we're not going to win. 50-50.
That's right. Everything is 50-50 for me. So Scott Nelson joining us here. And again, the website, if you want to check out more about them, especially after the show, swineassassinsbbq.com. And again, this is Scott Nelson. Scott, appreciate the time tonight. We'll do it again soon.
Hey, no problem. Can I get one more plug in?
Plug it up.
Okay, sweet. Hog Eyes Barbecue. We get all of our stuff from them. They're a great sponsor. Anybody that needs some barbecue stuff anywhere in the Midwest, and I'm sure they ship all over the U.S., look them up. Hog Eyes Barbecue.
All right.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, Scott. Take care, buddy.
Yeah.
Scott Nelson will be driving the 43 Hog Eyes Barbecue car tonight, and also the sponsored tires by Chatham Artillery Cooking Class, everybody. Just kidding. But, hey, who am I? Businessman first, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that was Scott Nelson, Swine Assassins Barbecue Team. Very good interview. Look, whether you agree or disagree with whatever he was saying, and I wasn't really paying attention. Just kidding. As a host of, well, let me rephrase that. As a radio show host, I'm always appreciating any guest who is bringing enthusiasm and passion when he's on the phone. Because to you, the listener, you could potentially fall asleep with somebody that's not bringing it strong during the course of the Barbecue Central radio show, and I thought Scott brought it very strong tonight. Didn't duck any answers, was very upfront about everything, asking about, kind of taking classes and buying success or whatever you want, but it didn't skirt a topic, and I always appreciate that. All right, we have prizes to give away. This is, of course, the part where I just blow out the prize closet. There's no game involved. You just have to call the toll-free number, 877-448-0433. That is the number to call to win, and I believe we still have the full complement of prizes as well. Bill gave it a run last segment and didn't do too well on the last question, the third of third questions. Hello. Let's go to area code 412, name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Vince from Baldwin, Pennsylvania.
Vince, tell me where Baldwin, Pennsylvania is in relation to Cleveland, Ohio. And don't say east either.
Just get on the Ohio Turnpike and get off around Pittsburgh. You'll be there.
All right. So already we're at odds because I'm from Cleveland. But nevertheless, Vince, we have a full complement of prizes to give away tonight. We have, obviously, the showcased item, which is the Draper's Rub and Sauce giveaway pack. But we have a bunch of other stuff. What would you like?
Do you have the Smoky Okies product?
Yep, we have the Smoky Okie Sweet Smokin' Swine Brine Pork and Rib Inject. We also... You want that one?
That sounds good, Greg.
All right. Vince, go ahead and send me an email, include your shipping address, and then reference what you won, which is the swine brine. And we'll get that down to Smoky Okie, and we'll send it right out to you.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Love the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you calling in tonight, Vince. And we'll go to area code 623, name and where you're calling from.
Surprise, Arizona.
Who is this?
Jack.
Hey, Jack, how are you tonight?
Pretty good, eh?
Doing outstanding, Jack. Thanks for asking. We have a bunch of stuff to give away. The Smoky Okie stuff has gone by the wayside, but we have the showcased item tonight, which is the Draper's Rub and Sauce prize pack, and we also have a bunch of other stuff. What would you like?
I'll do the Drapers.
All right, Drapers it is. Go ahead and send me an email, Greg at the BBQ Central Show. Reference Drapers in the email along with your shipping address. We'll get it right out to you.
Thanks, Greg.
All right. Thanks for calling in tonight, Jack. And we go to area code 508. Name and where you're calling from.
Patrick from Hyannis.
Patrick calling in tonight. How are you tonight, Patrick?
I am well.
All right. Well, you know what? Let me point this out, Patrick. You are absolutely English grammatically correct in saying you're well, and I appreciate you saying it like that. We have a bunch of great stuff to give away. We have some frog mats. We have the wine-infused Oakwood products from Greenleaf Barbecue. We have El Capitan Santa Maria-style barbecue seasoning. We have Cosmos Q's injection pack. What would you like?
I'd love to try the Cosmos Q.
All right, Cosmos Q it is, Patrick. Go ahead and email me, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Reference Cosmos, and we'll get it right out to you.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, thanks for calling in tonight, Patrick. Beat it. And we'll go to area code 95. Holy moly, area code 954, name and where you're calling from.
This is Bill in Hollywood, Florida again.
Bill's calling from Hollywood, Florida. It's a lot easier this time around.
Job.
Well, you know, look, everybody can't get a rim job. What am I talking about here? All right. Bill, we have, let me tell you what we have left. We have El Capitan Santa Maria-style barbecue seasoning. We have frog mats. We have the wine-infused Oakwood products from Greenleaf Barbecue. What would you like?
Let's try the El Capitan.
All right, El Capitan it is. Believe me, Bill, this is one of my most favorite all-time seasonings on the face of the earth. I use it all the time. You'll use it on everything, believe me. Especially good on meat, obviously, because it's a Santa Maria-style seasoning. But nonetheless, send me your shipping information. Email it to me, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Reference El Capitan, and we'll get it right out to you.
Okay, man.
All right, thanks for calling back in tonight, Bill. Wow. Is that what it's all about? You just want the giveaway without the having to put forth effort into winning stuff. Okay, I see what it's all about. That's fine by me. I can dig it. I don't want to have to put any effort in either. That's why I'm going to do away with the fourth segment and give you more show. More of me, less of giveaways. Yay for everybody. All right, thanks again to Shane Draper. Scott Nelson from Swine Assassins Barbecue Team. You don't care. Oh, well, obviously, barbecue soup. What is barbecue soup? Weighing in that they don't care about questions. I understand. Don Gig is absolutely correct when he's weighing in with the El Capitan is awesome. I love it. Love it. Barbecue Brethren, that is definitely a website you want to check out. We love them. We love the Barbecue Brethren. Check them out. I mean, I think it's probably the most popular barbecue forum on the interwebs, even more popular than mine. Did you know I have one? The Barbecue Central Forum, which can be found at the BBQ Central. Don't put show. thebbqcentral.com. I don't really hang out there that much because I'm busy prepping for shows. Rude Dogs, West Coaster, Arizona. Love. One love, brother. All right, let's go ahead and go through the thank you roll of Chris Hart from IQ. First or second segment on the 9 o'clock hour, talking about the Best in Smoke, which will be seen this Sunday starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Food Network. Also, thanks to Robyn Lindars for the gracious third segment, talking about all of the good stuff that she is up to. Grill Girl Clinic coming next month, too. Check that out. Cooking channel spot for her in June as well. And then my after-hours guest was Scott Nelson, one-half pitmaster of Swine Assassins Barbecue Team. SwineAssassinsBBQ.com, their website. Grill Girl, GRRRL.com, Grill Girl's website. IQBarbecue.com is Chris Hart's website. Hey, gang, don't forget, if you missed the show or you want to see me again on the camera, you got to head over to OutdoorCookingChannel.com at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the masterful Kevin Bevington of Home BBQ will put this show up on replay for Thursdays at 9 o'clock. We own Tuesday nights at 9. We own Thursday nights at 9 on Outdoor Cooking Channel. Many thanks to Kevin for doing that. We are locked and loaded again for next Tuesday already, folks. It is going to be prime time, locked and loaded. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Say it with me. Good night now.